He's a good player. I don't think that screams elite player. I think it's good player.
Yep.
Could they stand upgrade there if Mason Graham were to fall to them? To me, that's not the worst thing. Now, all of a sudden, is it that the Jaguars are going to pivot off of a guy they've been linked to for quite some time? Are they going to go offense for their new offensive head coach? Although they've got some weapons there already, You've got ETN down there. They've got, obviously, a stud wide receiver, too. They don't have to worry about that position, it doesn't look like. But they've got ETN down there. I think they also picked up the option on ETN. Don't quote me on that. I'll double-check if that's correct.
I will not quote you.
I think they picked up his option, but I will have to double-check that. So could it be that the Jacksonville Jaguars are now eyeing up Ashton Genty and Mason Graham starts to fall? This was Albert Breer with Cap and Hoodie earlier today talking about that very thing.
I think I told you guys a couple of weeks ago Mason Graham would make it to the Bears. I think he could now. So I look at it like I think if you're like a hardcore, like this isn't going to be the draft for the drive-by viewer. The drive-by viewer wants receivers and quarterbacks. I think if you're a hardcore fan, there's going to be a lot of unpredictability in this year's draft. And so I think you're going to see some guys that are perceived as reaches, and then I think you're going to see some guys slide. And I think the Shedeur situation could bring as much drama as you could ever want. So I think it's going to be a fun draft to watch for the hardcore fan who's really locked in and knows who all these guys are.
Albert, as he hinted right there in his response to what the guys were talking about today, a lot's changed in 2 weeks. Where Ashton Genty was very likely going to be there for the Bears if they wanted him at 10, to today, nope, it's not going to happen. He's probably going to Jacksonville, to remember I told you guys 2 weeks ago Mason Graham wouldn't be there. Well, now maybe he is. And I think that got Bears fans going, oh, boy, I still don't know that scenario presents itself. This was Albert when he was asked flat out who the Bears should take at number 10 come Thursday.
Why do you give me Mason Graham? Because I just mentioned him. I think I want to say Kelvin Banks. Because I think Banks is going to go somewhere in the top 10. I think a lot of people are missing the boat on him. I think he's going inside. I think – so if I had to guess right now with the tackles, I would say Campbell 4 to the Patriots. I would say maybe Banks 6 to the Raiders and Bimbo 7 to the Jets. Mm-hmm. If Tyler Warren gets past the Jets, I think there's a possibility the Bears are looking at the chance to draft him too, which could be an interesting thing for your young quarterback.
So Warren, maybe he said Graham would be the pick if he falls. Everybody's mocking Tyler Warren to the Bears. And they're either doing a very good job of wanting people to believe that, or that's what's happening, that they love Tyler Warren and they are drafting a tight end.
And your feelings on that?
I wouldn't be as not down. I wouldn't be as opposed as running back there, but I still think the Bears should be looking for an O-lineman or a pass rusher.
Yeah, you're somewhat perplexed.
Yeah, I'd be a little bit perplexed.
Yeah. Unless there's a guy they love as an end opposite of Sweat that they know they can get in the second round. And then you've got to trust your scouts and guys that have been able to look at it and have been able to analyze and say, hey, we think we got this guy, the best pass rusher, the guy that can come off the corner the best. We can get him at 39 or 41. So it's not overreaction to what they do at 10 as much as it's a reaction to the totality of what they do with those first 4 picks.
Right.
So we'll see.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
I can't go crazy Friday morning because they might do something. I've got to see what else they do.
I'd be a little bit perplexed. That's probably a good way to say it, I guess, unless they've got some great plan for filling those other needs later in rounds 2 and 3.
You'll know early Friday night.
You will
Friday,
know very early.
You'll know early.
We'll know very early. Among D linemen who played 20% of snaps last year in 2024, York, that's 120 qualified interior defensive linemen. I said D linemen, excuse me. I meant interior.
And that'd be Jervon Dexter, that'd be Billings, and anybody else that played on the inside last year.
120 guys across the NFL played at least 20% of the snaps. And Dexter finished 21st in win rate on true pass sets. Try to tease out the bigger sample. Just look at true pass sets because I think it gives you a little bit of a better idea. 16.4% win rate was 21st out of those 120. He's a good player. I don't think that screams elite player. I think it's good player.
Yep.
Could they stand upgrade there if Mason Graham were to fall to them? To me, that's not the worst thing. They still have bigger issues, I think, on the outside. Sweat obviously played, at least it appears, that he would have played through some sort of injury last year. Maybe he's a little bit better this year amongst edge rushers last year. And this pool of players drops from 120 for the interior guys to 118, Yerk. This is 118 qualified edge rushers. Montez Sweat was 25th in win rate, 18.9%, and Dio Odangbo was 48th at 16%. I still think that is an area of concern for the Bears, and I don't know that they're totally – I don't know that they have all those problems totally solved.
I agree.
Outside.
I agree. They do not have those problems totally solved.
Maybe.
I think you helped yourself with quality depth. I think your overall 7 or 8 have been improved.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you've got an answer opposite of Montez Sweat.
Could you find a stud opposite Montez Sweat?
That's what you would like.
Stud.